I could kick this review off by mentioning the dire situation Nintendo finds itself in with the Wii U, and question if Mario Kart 8 could be that jolt of electricity its system so sorely needs right now. But chances are you're as sick of hearing it as I am, and more than likely here because you're a fan of the series. You don't want to hear about Wii U sales, you want to hear about Mario Kart 8, so let's get started. It's hard to believe we've been firing red shells and drifting around hairpin corners for over 22 years now, but the Mario Kart series is one that hasn't seen the need to change, with a winning formula that continues to please gamers with every new iteration. Sure, the series has seen its fair share of tweaks and new ideas, 2-racer karts, gliding, character-specific weapons, motorbikes, and stunts to name a few, but its core remains true, and the same can really be said about Mario Kart 8. You're still very much racing 11 other opponents and using an assortment of weapons on a host of Mario-inspired tracks after all. While it certainly doesn't feel like a true revolution for the series, its implementation of returning features, as well as a few new twists, helps craft what many might argue is the finest racing experience we've seen from the long-running franchise yet. Racing feels as good as it ever has, taking the tried and true simplistic handling that's easy to learn and rewarding for those that want to master. The game also offers a wide array of control schemes that should suit all playstyles, with motion controls even making a welcome return from the Wii version. Sadly, gamepad usage is a pretty miserable affair. Rather than giving a player their own screen, or even allowing a fifth player to join, what you have is the option to use a horn, map, or simply mirror what's on your television. Hardly inspiring stuff. Furthermore, you can't opt to have the map on the TV either, meaning when playing with friends, the player with the gamepad is at an advantage with their second screen. Much like Mario Kart 7, characters and car parts all have their own weight and handling stats. Want a higher top speed but slower acceleration? Opt for one of the heavyweight characters along with a hefty car. Prefer to excel at handling, however, then select one of the featherweights along with a motorbike. It's always fun to experiment and find the perfect ride to suit your playstyle. As for the character roster itself, the selection is a little disappointing. Gone are veterans like Diddy Kong, Bowser Jr. and Birdo, and instead we have plenty of babies and metallic versions of existing characters. Now to me this just seems a little lazy, and I'm hoping this will be rectified with downloadable content at a later date. On the bright side, however, the 7 Koopalings are a surprisingly appreciated addition, each one full of so much character and charm. Of course, the biggest new addition this time around comes in the form of anti-gravity, a neat trick that appears on certain tracks, taking the race to its side and even upside down. While it doesn't really change the way the game plays too much, the screen doesn't flip as you do for example, it does allow for some far more interesting track design. Furthermore, the added mechanic of gaining boosts as you hit other racers encourages you to be more aggressive with your racing. Weaponry has always been a large part of the Mario Kart experience, and this sequel is no different. Of course you'll see plenty of old favourites returning, including shells, banana peels, bullet bills and so on. New toys also make their debut however and come in the form of a chomping piranha plant that also provides you with brief bursts of speed, a boomerang that can be thrown 3 times, hitting players even as it returns, and the super horn capable of sending out a shockwave that can even take out the dreaded blue shell. Like previous entries in the series, Mario Kart 8 sports 16 entirely new tracks along with 16 returning retro ones. The fresh batch make best use of the game's anti-gravity mechanic, with track designs that see you racing through the streets of a sunny harbour, alongside a dam, and even up a waterfall. Finding a dud in the bunch is especially tough, with each track housing its own highlights. Bowser's Castle sees you trying to avoid a giant moving statue with the big brute. Twisted Mansion has you racing upside down through its flooded basement, and Mount Wario is basically a sprint down a giant snowy mountain, finishing off with a huge ski jump. I could easily sit here and list off every new track's wow moments. I mean, how often can you claim the opening track for a Mario Kart game is actually memorable? As for the retro selection, in my mind at least, this may be the strongest gathering of classics the series has ever seen. Of course, this is entirely subjective. One man's Toad's Turnpike is another's Wario Coliseum after all. One thing's for sure though, you can't argue the excellent implementation of the sequel's new mechanics into these older tracks. Local modes offer pretty much what you'd expect from a Mario Kart game. Grand Prix sees you racing in several 4-race tournaments with the usual classes making a return. 50cc and the 100cc feel slow but should ease newcomers in nicely, while the 150cc and mirror classes offer the challenge veterans will crave. Time Trial also returns, along with a versus mode where you'll be able to customise races with limited options that are appreciated nonetheless. In general, Mario Kart 8 lacks any real surprises when it comes to its single player options, taking the safer route by sticking with what it always has. This is a little disappointing, especially when you see the amazing things a kart racer like Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed has done with its campaign mode in the past. While Mario Kart's racing continues to soar, sadly its once beloved battle mode maintains its downward spiral into irrelevance. The standard balloon battle is the only offering available here, mixing the elimination style rules of older Mario Karts with the point-based system of newer entries. It's certainly a big improvement over the forced team-based respawning option seen in the Wii version, but unfortunately that's not where this mode's biggest problem lies. Battles now take place on 8 of the game's racetracks rather than the standard arena-style affair from past games. It's a bold move by the developer to take the battle to looping circuits, but one that doesn't pay off. Tracks now feel too large, with a majority of the time spent simply circling and searching for other races, a task made all the more tougher without a map on the television. Once eliminated, players can still attack others in ghost form, although you won't earn points for doing so. While it keeps those eliminated early involved, it feels very unfair and random to keep finding yourself hit with shells, bananas and so on by an invisible player. Battle mode in general also seems very minimal with no other variations to offer. No shine thief, no coin runners, nothing. Had we seen a return to form for battle mode, I could easily tell you this is the ultimate Mario Kart experience. As it stands however, it's just a huge missed opportunity and a real letdown. It probably comes as no surprise, but Mario Kart 8 is drop dead gorgeous. While the Wii U has seen some decent looking games in its 1+ year run, Nintendo's Racer is leaps and bounds ahead of any of its competition. Tracks feel truly alive with small details at every corner, while racers beam amazing character, right down to Mario's wiggling moustache, or Wario's jiggling backside. Even more impressive is the game's rock-steady 60 frames a second that remains true even with 2 players. Add another racer or two, and that gets halved, a noticeable but acceptable sacrifice. The game's soundtrack, equal in quality, boasts an amazing variety of genres, with a majority actually orchestrated, a first for the series. Even the classic courses have seen their tunes given a fresh coat of audio paint. Overall, Mario Kart 8 is easily the most polished the series has ever been, and helps elevate the game to its AAA status. Online options are overall pretty good, allowing you to enter random races and battles with others from all over the world, or simply set up lobbies with your friends. Voice chat is available, but only in these lobbies, a bit disappointing, especially considering how Mario Kart 8 is a very verbal affair with friends. User-created tournaments and time trials featuring downloadable ghosts and leaderboards round things off nicely. A big new feature for the series this time around is Mario Kart TV, a neat little tool that allows you to watch race highlights, or the full race if you prefer, and upload them to YouTube. With a variety of options including which players to focus on and what sort of actions to showcase, there's plenty of fun to be had crafting your own videos, even altering its playback speed. Seeing Waluigi's reaction to getting hit with a red shell in super slow motion never gets old. Mario Kart 8 is an excellent racer and likely one of the best in the series to date. With the exception of the hugely disappointing battle option, it's tough to find much fault with Nintendo's latest Wii U hit. From its stunning visuals and memorable soundtrack to its amazing track design and unbeatable sense of fun, Nintendo have given gamers another reason to take notice of its home console.